What is up? We are talking about Feud, episode 7, Abandoned. So don't abandon us. Stay tuned. Hey there, Feud fans. You are tuned into the BHL Feud Aftershow. I'm your host, Alana Jordan. You can find me on Twitter at Alana Jordan. And today I am joined by my amazing panel. Our whole panel is back because Raquel. I know.
I'm 24 now.
A week older, a year older.
The 24 Club gang.
Still a baby.
Enjoy it while it lasts, darling.
Right. Because we learned in this episode, age, it matters. Right.
We're going to get to that. And I'm Lisa Mason Lee. You can find me everywhere at Lisa Mason Lee.
And my name is Raquel Harris. I'm back this week, and I'm so happy to be back. And you can find me on all social media at Raquel Harris TV.
Hey guys, what's up? I'm Nakia Monet, and you can find me on all social media at Kiki Boom Boom.
We are talking about the second to last episode. I can't believe how fast this has gone by.
Yeah, it did go by fast. It did go by
Time
fast.
flies when you're having fun.
Yeah, for
when
sure.
You're having Feud.
When you're having feud.
Okay.
I like that.
Man.
Time flies when you're having a feud.
And it gets better and better each week.
Unless you're Joan.
Well,
Yowzas.
I literally just wanted to throw my phone at the TV.
She made her hospital bed. Now she's lying in it.
Ooh, you are coming with it, Elaine.
That's awesome. Karma.
Quite proud of myself with that one.
No, give yourself some. That was cool points. Kudos to you, Elaine. You always do it though. I'm like, where do you get? You have an entire
intros.
No, really, an entire box of just got it. I got you. You're right.
Because that's she's been doing feud for so
And
long.
I keep the plastic cover on it as an ode to Joan.
Right. You're right. No, you do have clapbacks just as good as who is it? More is it Bette or Joan? That's really the better.
Betty.
I think Betty's better.
Has better
comes in with them
clapbacks.
sayings.
They're both good, but I think Betty is just faster.
I think Joan has to think about it a little bit.
In her trailer.
I'm gonna miss this feud.
She brought back Lucille a lot this episode too.
Oh,
she hadn't said Lucille in a
been a
while.
while.
So good at the subtle digs.
Yes.
Joan is too over the top. That's the thing. Is it's like, Joan, rein it a little bit. Just be like, hey, there's not a feud. There's not any issues. Boom, zing, walk away.
Joan has
take a note.
Yeah, Joan has better quotes. Betty has better clapbacks.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
100%. Yes.
Yeah.
That's
Betty's
perfect.
great.
So this episode, we open up on the first day on set for Joan, fifth day for some crude dude who's just rubbing it in at this point.
Right.
You're like, dang, Joan. And she's already seeing that the tone has been set, and in the 5 days she's not there, Betty and Bob have become
Very close.
besties and
Bosom buddies.
Okay. Booty call buddies.
Booty call on set. Booty call buddies.
And it's I just don't understand why why are you just it's just weird to me. You're married. And that, obviously adultery happens whenever, but he just doesn't care. And you have a great wife at home.
But at this point, he knows he's getting a divorce.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
Harriet's
true.
already been I'm not in this anymore.
So I think he's just F it.
Yeah,
I think
for
at this
sure.
point, he's peeing outside, he wasn't actually peeing.
Right.
He was just crying.
Yeah. He's just
He's eye peeing outside.
Yeah, he's not sad anymore.
He forgot
He's
about his
not
wife.
sad now. He's moved on.
He forgot.
No, right, clearly.
He totally.
He's
I think
partying it up.
Betty Davis's aggression turns him on, and how hard she works and how hard she comes off. I think that's a big turn on.
It's a
for
very
him.
attractive quality,
It
I
is.
think. Just and she's just very self-secure.
Yeah, and she knows what she wants, and the things that she's insecure about, she doesn't really let people see that.
Yeah.
And that's what I like. Like Bob, if you compare Betty and Joan, I think for him, he's I'm gonna go with Betty.
I feel Joan definitely has more confidence than Betty does. But she had that quote where she was talking to Bob when they were being intimate, and she was like, being beautiful wasn't enough, and and she was saying it was never good, and she got compared. I like that scene where she went back and said when Jack Warner was she has no sex appeal, and who's gonna want to sleep with her? And I'm just like, but you could see the hurt that was in her at that point, because I was like, that's, and I felt like that too, where she was like, okay, I'm angry, so I need a reason to take something out on Joan.
This whole episode, I think, really played up the beauty versus talent versus basically having the one adjective to describe you, and how that's never enough. Because if you are dubbed the most beautiful girl in the world, if you're dubbed the most talented girl in the world, both of them see this parallel. It's never going to be enough, because the talented girl is going to want to be beautiful. The beautiful girl is going to want to be talented, because
and where's the balance?
We see Jack Warner is telling her, you know, she's listening. She tells Bob that she had listened to her audition.
Right, she was hiding behind the door.
So sad.
And that Jack Warner had said that he wished she looked more like Joan Crawford.
And then to be compared to that, it sucks, because it's like, these women have been beefing almost their whole careers, their whole lives, and they wanted to be like each other.
Yeah,
we see in that moment that it really is just this jealousy that has just been deep rooted
for years.
It's so sad, because it's one of those that you're like, oh, you could have Wonder Twins activate, like
exactly.
Combined.
But you know what? Their relationship with Hollywood is similar to a relationship that they would have with like a man. Really, like when she was like, you know, no matter how beautiful I am, not everybody is like that when it comes to a relationship with a man. But in the sense of, I feel like I can never do enough to make you happy, and as much as I try, no matter how beautiful, no matter how talented, you still just say no.
And it almost seems like, they're fighting over, the man they're fighting over is this Oscar.
Yeah.
Like, every time I see them with the Oscar, I just like, Brandy and Monica's The Boy in Mine just starts playing in the background. Like, I just go like way back, like the choker comes on, and I'm like,
classic.
Boy is mine.
And I just see
that would
like,
be that'd be a nice parody.
Wouldn't that?
To put Betty in
going for the Oscar.
In The Boy's Mind, that would be hilarious. We
Come on, Ryan.
coined it.
Ryan.
Coined it. We need
We're
to do
waiting for
it.
a Boys Mind video. That'd be amazing.
Right,
Somebody make it happen.
That's more the remix.
That's more American Horror Story.
Yeah, American Horror Story.
Yeah.
I can see that. But yeah, it sucks, because these two women, it's like you said, Wonder Twins activate. They could have been something great. They could have went on as two legends.
Well, there's also this, they keep running into all this miscommunication too, because the first day on set, Joan knocks it out of the park. She's called a one-hit wonder. She's, you know, she walks out of the cab, she does her line, and then when, you know, Betty is hooting and hollering up, Joan is telling Mamacita she's not going to drink, she's going to be responsible on this production, and then she's going to go over there and tell her to be quiet, and then she sees Betty mocking her. But in actuality, that is based off of a real thing. She wasn't mocking her. She told, I believe it was either her agent or her publicist, he walked in on her. She was doing
An impersonation?
Yes. And she was practicing, but she was by herself in real life. And she was saying, I've been doing this for hours, and I can't do it like she did. Like,
wow. And miscommunication, and Joan takes that as she's making fun of her.
Yeah, and so, I mean, considering that that's the real story, too, is you're like, oh, man, like, that's kind of a level of obsession that you're like,
because
it's
more
really
flattering.
Yeah, it's really flattering.
But I feel like Joan knows that. Joan is
Harry Mines, I'm sorry, was her publicist.
She's she's the example of what you're supposed to be as an actress in Hollywood. So, I mean, if someone gets, I feel like probably everybody compared themselves to Joan, or every director or producer was like, you need to be like Joan, because she was the it girl. So, I mean.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I would want to be like Betty. Like, I get, like, Joan Crawford is one of the best, but she was, like, known for her looks.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And for me, I'm like, damn, I want to be like Betty Davis. But it sucks, because someone who wasn't known for her looks, she felt that insecurity, and she wanted to be the Joan Crawford.
You even look at, you know, with other icons, like the Marilyn Monroe versus the Mae West.
Right.
True story.
Like, I would 100% rather be Mae West,
I would love to be Mae West.
90% of the people are like,
want to be Marilyn Monroe.
Who is that?
But Marilyn did want to be known for intelligence, too. If you listen to some of her old interviews, I was pretty impressed at some of the things she said.
Marilyn was definitely like a spirit. Like, I liked her spirit. She was very like, no, I'm beautiful how I am. I'm fine with that. Like, she was all about women empowerment. So, I mean, I like Marilyn, too. I wouldn't aspire to be like Marilyn, because she kind of is a little bit like Joan.
I love that we at least got to see that this season, just at the very
Marilyn.
beginning.
Yeah.
Like, just like the Marilyn, but without it, you know, like,
overdoing it.
yeah, without that really being referenced too much, because we still get references to the other Hollywood actresses throughout the show too, which I liked, especially this one, when basically at this point they're just having so many issues on set.
Betty
Joan.
just did it. Okay, yeah, this
Betty.
was well deserved for Betty to do what she was doing to Joan, like taking her lines away, taking out monologues and stuff like that.
Wow.
I thought that it was well deserved for her to get back at her like that because she took her spotlight. She didn't take her Oscar away. So I mean, but at the same time, her taking that spotlight and doing all and putting all that energy into taking away that shine at the Oscars, I felt like, well.
See, I disagree because I'm like, once you let the petty show,
No,
that's,
for
I'm like,
sure.
now you're too Joan. It's
Right.
like, that's the issue. It's because now you can see it. What you do, this is when you get real conniving. Are you ready? You shoot it. You shoot the whole thing. This is how you produce, guys.
Okay.
You make your actors feel good. You shoot whatever, if you are basically shut down the production and waste all of that time with her in the trailer,
Right.
or you waste more time doing more takes, you do more takes, and then you tell the editor, cut all that shit.
That's great.
Well, see, I'm just saying, she got what she deserved.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't, for me personally, I wouldn't want to do all that or even take the time out to say, okay, let's cut lines, let's do all that. But at the same time, I'm just saying, Joan, you got what you got. Like,
Yeah.
that's what you
But
get.
Bob even flat out tells Betty, if you're gonna produce, you gotta produce.
Right,
You're
you
gonna
gotta-
be a
you
line
gotta have
tamer,
results.
Go time the line.
I love that he cussed them both up, but I do love, because at first I thought Betty was smart about it. I'm
Yeah.
like, what other way can you go but try to be the producer of this film? Because she can't just be Betty Davis telling Joan Crawford what to do.
But that's what she was doing.
She was doing it. So
Yeah.
she was like, let me be the producer. I just wish that it's like half and half. I'm
Yeah.
happy that she stuck it to Joan.
Yes.
But I wish that she sat down with Bob and did it the smarter way and came out more on top and was like, I'm the best producer. We're gonna cut all your shit. I mean, Joan would have complained about it, but the movie was already done. But I was a little happy that she was able to just stick it to Joan. a
yeah,
little
me
bit,
too.
like,
I was like,
She did cut down her scenes.
yeah.
Yeah, and
in the middle.
It's like she just, I think, undercut.
she's better than that.
Yeah.
Is what you're
Yeah.
saying. She is better
But-
than that,
and
but
it's
like,
sometimes
when
it
you
feels
stoke-
good.
It does feel good until you stoke the fire to the point that you're
Yes.
like, okay, now this is a train
She's
wreck.
becoming
Like we're
super,
93 days
super
in.
petty. But I think someone like her, a woman like that who's been told she's not beautiful her whole life, or even as talented, and you see someone who gets ahead just from their looks or something else. And I think sometimes when you've been doing things the right way for so long, you say to yourself, damn, someone who's been doing something wrong and they're getting away with it, maybe I should try to do something wrong.
And I also feel
And be
like she's
super petty.
Yeah,
I see.
And I feel like she's only been sleeping with Bob too. Like I think she likes Bob, but I feel like she's kind of trying to be Joan by sleeping her way, not sleeping her way to the top, but doing some of the things that Joan does because she sees, okay, she has been able to be successful doing some of it. I don't think that she liked Bob like that.
I don't think that she was using Bob.
No, I don't think she's
don't
using.
either.
I don't think she's using Bob. I'm saying I feel like she's doing this
To upset Joan.
I guess in a sense because the relationship that they had with whatever happened to Baby Jane, where Joan was kind of doing that with Bob. So now the tables are turned and she's doing it, and so it's like I feel like Betty just needs something to do. I do. I don't feel like Betty really just wants to involve
I feel
herself.
like they have that connection because at this point, like she's pretty alone and he's pretty alone. I think they've even said the last episode, "Let's be alone together."
Yeah.
I
But
think
see,
they
it's
do
like-
have this connection, and at this point, even though in real life I don't think she was a producer on the movie.
And he even said that the associate producer role is nothing. He was
Yeah,
like,
and there was not even. But I think in real life she didn't even have that like fake
Title.
title. But I understand for purposes for the plot of the show, it makes
Right.
sense to have
To
that
do
thrown
that.
in.
I was reading
She
in a-
did though demand equal pay.
That's what I love about Betty Davis. I was actually reading in an article too, like some of the things they were saying some of the things were exaggerated, but someone said a quote that Betty wanted to make a basket case out of Joan, and she almost succeeded on this film.
Oh.
It was in Variety, and I'm like, wow.
yeah, she was
I
already
think
a
she
basket
pretty
case.
much did.
Yeah,
And then when she
yeah.
was doing the photo shoot or the Hedda Hopper news special,
Yeah.
in the hospital taking pictures with the staff, that was ridiculous.
It was crazy. And then Joan also says in the same article, they found all these great quotes. Joan's like, when I found out I cried for 9 hours. But my favorite quote of all,
Found out what?
that they replaced it with Olivia.
Oh,
Sorry, they
yeah.
replaced it with Olivia. So she gives this quote, and then she also says, instead of giving Olivia a compliment, she's like, good for Olivia. I'm glad she needed it. Like, Joan.
that was. I mean,
Typical Joan, though.
and
It's
Olivia
like
was
she's
there for
petty,
her at the Oscars.
yeah.
So
She had her back.
it's sad, but it's,
It's the backstabbing. It's-
Yeah.
reap what you sow.
It's
They will-
constant.
Yeah, just
yeah,
for a
I mean,
job.
it's a lot of game playing.
Yeah,
that
it
we see is
Just
you know
straight to the
she's getting
point.
her lines cut. And the funniest thing too that I love is that when she's faking sick and Betty says, basically she's not sick. This is a power play. I can't believe she's doing this. I did the same thing when I was under contract with Warner. I was like,
yes, I love it.
I'm like, I just love that they just keep showing how these women are so similar. Mm-hmm. And if they would just stop playing this stupid game.
Who had the quote in the show that was like, I want to know if Hollywood creates narcissists?
The secretary.
Yes.
Oh, that was
I like that quote.
I don't know if Hollywood attracts narcissists or creates them, but
because
I'm not sticking around to find out.
Exactly. And that's the entire reason that they act this way, because if Hollywood, or if they weren't in the position that they were in, they wouldn't act this way towards one another. I mean,
it's because Hollywood is a town made of mirrors.
Yeah.
And most people don't have to walk around being constantly judged and reflected
scrutinized.
all of their aspects, not just their
Right.
physical aspects, but if you do comedy, if you act, if you do anything, we see Joan losing her mind, saying, "No, this is harder for me. I have to work harder because I didn't start the theater. I started shaking my French in a nightclub with my dress soaked in whiskey, and now I'm gonna everyone's gonna always think of me as that.
Yeah.
Even though that's not even the case.
Yeah,
It's
I was
Joan,
like,
you're the only one who thinks of yourself.
You're
as
a
that.
legend.
Yeah, girl, sit down.
You and Betty are legends. You guys could have made more legendary things.
Yeah.
But it sucks because you have all these power people and all these power games, like you said, being played and miscommunication. And it's like, once they tried to come together, it could never work. But it's just so late in your life and your career, you would think,
Are you tired?
ladies, let's get it together.
Yeah. It's
But-
just, there's too much energy. It's like,
Wouldn't
why?
make a great feud.
Right.
It was good to see BD come back.
Little BD.
I was like,
Great
a big
to
girl.
see BD come back.
And she's 16
BD is a BG.
in this.
Big girl.
16.
in this
16.
in
her
her getting married, I was
She's
like
getting married.
29.
That is true. And she met him at Cannes Film Festival when her mom brought her. And her mom even said, Betty was quoted as saying that was the biggest mistake of her life. And the funniest thing, they're still married today.
Wow.
And she said my
After
love was
all of
forever.
that, when she's like, your first marriage
Yeah, your first.
is the one you
She was
remember.
like-
and she gets so offended. And,
I love that quote.
And then now,
That's just women in Hollywood.
yeah, and they're
5%.
thinking, there's no way that you could ever have. And I even thought, like, oh, well, she probably will have another marriage. To this day, she's still married.
Wow.
Well, that's
Wow.
good. It's
I
just
think
a little
that's
weird at
awesome.
16, but whatever.
Yeah, it is odd.
Yeah, but we know
I mean,
why.
back
She
in the
just-
day.
She just wanted to get out of her mother's house because it was always like a competition with her mother. And she
Yeah.
wasn't mommy dearest, but I was actually watching The View. I watched The View, which I love. Susan Sarandon was on The View, and she was saying when she was younger, Betty Davis actually wanted her to play Betty Davis. And she's like, her daughter wrote a book about her, which I did not know that. I thought it was only Christina and Joan Crawford. So BD, I think, who also wrote a book about her mom, and Susan said it was like a horrible book. I think she was dissing Betty Davis. But I think she really just got married just to get out of her mother's house. Like,
Well,
instead
she
of you telling me
basically
what to
even
do.
said that,
Yeah.
where she's like,
She
she
could've
says
moved out,
it's
though.
all the reason that you have such an elaborate wedding is because basically it's all downhill from there. It's all work. It's all, and then listing all the things she has to do. And she's like, Mom, you just described living with you.
She's
Right.
like, well, I trained you to be a great wife.
Right.
Like, great Betty Davis.
And it's amazing how Betty refuses to give her consent for the marriage, and then the zinger.
I have to control everything.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just a constant fight for attention, and I feel like it's very I don't know. I read this article a little while back, and it said that we're in the era of narcissism, and I feel like just with social media that creates narcissists because you're constantly comparing yourself to what someone else is doing and how great you look there, what filter someone is using. It's just what camera angle that you need to use. It's
Very important.
Yeah. I feel like Hollywood is definitely seeping into social media, or just that mindset of I need to look great all the time or I need to be better than someone else. So,
Which is so funny seeing almost that exact idea projected from Betty onto BD when she's talking to Bob and she's like, and Bob's she's like, you don't want permission, you want attention.
yeah, that's all it is.
And it's like, women, look at yourself. for
Look
a
in the
second.
mirror. You want attention. from
And
Bob.
then she decides, she says, I want full control, and I'll let you get married.
Yeah.
But I love that little BD did it on her own anyway.
Yeah, because she knew what her mom. But see, my thing is too, if you did that, then why not just don't have her waste all that money and just tell her from the jump, oh, okay, I went and got married.
I guess
You're
just-
sitting down planning.
The build-up was good, though.
that's what I think
That's
that
why
was.
they did it that way.
She
I was
wasn't
just
the
like-
best mother. I think she was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna get you later. Oh, it's
Oh, yeah,
perfect
by
now.
the way,
By the
I went to
way,
City Hall.
Right. And
planning
actually, my
this
first
wedding.
marriage was
Yeah,
have fun with
amazing.
that.
Yeah, I'm like, girl,
Your
BD,
first
no
wedding.
time.
little BD.
doing too much.
God.
Kind of made me
Davis.
think. I don't know about the whole first wedding thing.
That's
It made me kind of think.
You're like, maybe I'll have 3.
Sad for Betty. It's
You always remember your first one?
Yeah.
It's like the Hollywood divas or just Hollywood people back then. Everyone had like 4 or 5 husbands, and it was just nothing.
Well, even now, today, people are constantly dating people. Right, I don't want to name drop, but like people get married for like 4 years and they call it quits, or 72, what is it, months?
Or hours.
Like, hours, 74 hours, right.
I think my girl Britney Spears did the 72. and
Yes.
Kim K did like the
70 hours,
74
hours.
70 days or something like that.
Vegas facilitates that.
Yeah, I think marriage is just I think it's just for show. I don't think a lot of celebrities really, and I think it's hard to find love at that status too, because you never know what someone's using you for. A lot of people use other celebrities to get on top. So it's like, I feel like, and what I am happy about is that people do make the choice to say, okay, I don't want to do this anymore. But at the same time, we just don't get married or just have a friend or like a little boo
You
on
would
the
think
side.
that, right?
I just feel like I'm getting a prenup, period. No, but like seriously, my coin is my coin, and what I came in with is what I come in with, period, point blank. And that doesn't mean that you're gonna get a divorce or not. It's just saying, hey, just in case, let me
stay
clear
safe.
this up.
Hey,
you know,
back then it was
Janet
just-
Jackson, because
Back then, everyone's like, oh, now I'm on my 3rd husband, so it means everything.
Yeah.
Well, even, I mean, in this episode, though, they're really just using the whole wedding as just a juxtaposition
Yeah.
of her just wanting this control over everything and her wanting to control the movie. And then anytime that Joan kind of gets the upper hand, then her secondary competition with her own daughter steps into
Crazy.
play.
Bob's
And
like, this is not a
even-
competition.
Yeah,
It's
it's
not
a
Bob was like,
competition.
that's
She's
your
your
daughter.
daughter.
She's like, oh no,
She's
not
like,
her,
no, Joan. Now we're back to Joan. It's like, girl,
Totally forgot
come on
about
now.
like the person I gave birth to.
I will say one of my favorite things in this entire episode, though, really highlighting, and I know that they keep showing, you know, the gender specific things,
Right.
but when Betty turns to Bob and just point blank says, "Have you ever been rebuffed by a woman because of the way you look?" Because I'm assuming no.
right.
And
She's like, your bare belly, and oh, keep going.
yeah, like just like tearing him down. It's like,
it's
you
the
know,
truth.
because
It's
you know,
true.
and people even because in real life he was not very attractive.
I was about to say,
His work
like-
got him where he is, his talent and his work.
Yeah,
right? He didn't do the
exactly.
casting couch, did he? Not that we know of.
no, but she's absolutely right. Like a man doesn't have to be so good looking, and they can have the most attractive woman on their arm.
Yep.
A woman who's not the most attractive to them, no one would ever sleep with her. Really?
I mean, I think that beauty still matters for men, but just not as much as it does for women. Because in Hollywood,
Yes.
I still feel like that washboard body, the great facial hair, looking young, not having grays, like. I definitely feel like there's more open roles for men, older
Right.
men. Like Robert De Niro is still working to this day. Like
He's
there's
married.
What do you mean?
He's
You don't know, I
badass,
know.
though. He's
Oh,
like a
I'm
Betty
like, he's
Davis.
married.
He's a Betty Davis.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, no, I'm just saying in the sense of like beauty.
Oh, you know, I was
older,
He-
older
yeah.
I'm saying, like,
actors
older,
can be
right, like men.
cast.
Weathered.
But you'll see, you know, like you'll see an older actor paired in a love story with, you know, like
a 20-year-old.
Right.
Yeah, there was one that it was what, like Robert De
Crazy.
Niro and Anne Hathaway, or so, it was somebody in Anne Hathaway, and they're like, oh, she might be a little
He
too
played-
old,
he-
and it's like, no, come on
Yeah.
now.
Cut it out. But that's not even in film. If you see someone walking down the street, you'll see an older, not so great looking gentleman. They may have money
Oh, yeah.
with a younger, good looking woman, and you're
Absolutely.
Well, that's a business exchange.
like, yeah, business.
I
All
mean,
right.
it is. I mean, it is.
This is
Like,
all
I'm
right.
sorry. Why are you
they
dating?
Know. They know.
They know, but
what's
that's
going
usually
on.
what it is. Or it's-
Right.
when
We
it's
all
filmed.
know.
Right.
We know what's going on.
Right.
You know what's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because
You know
there
what's
are now
good.
websites for sugar babies and
Oh,
sugar
yeah.
daddies, and they know
There
exactly.
are.
There are.
And it's-
I was gonna
and
say
we
the site,
see
but
it
I'm
all.
Especially-
Just
exactly.
There's so much weight given to this, you know, idea of being physically attractive and how
Yeah.
that's your worth for these actresses. And when the two of them confront each other after the heartbreaking scene where she gets left in her trailer
Yeah, I felt bad.
out in the middle of the woods at nighttime. That was real. That really happened to her in real life.
I was
They
like,
all
that's one
packed
of-
up. They left her when she was napping, and that's what she really did in real life. Check into the hospital the next day.
Wow.
And so it wasn't really about like script cuts. It was about y'all left me, in my trailer.
Did y'all not think to say
with no way back
Joan?
to the motel?
But was y'all mad that Mamacita was sitting up on that little
Mamacita
section, was
sleeping.
not down, but not laying down, not anything? I was like, I don't know. If I was Mamacita, I would have quit a long time ago. And I'm glad, girl, you did this episode. You had
She
to
warned her.
bounce up out that mug because I was for real. But see, at the same time though, I was like, Mamacita, I don't think she threw it at your head. I think she was just throwing it out the window.
side.
Yeah, that was for dramatic effect
That
of the
was.
show.
I was like, Mamacita, girl, it was not.
That didn't
she wanted
happen
to leave.
in real life. That didn't
Yeah,
happen.
no.
Mamacita
Yeah.
actually stayed and worked with her up until she passed away, and then she went back to Germany when she was in her 70s. After she worked for Joan, she just didn't even want to be
Right.
Yeah.
at all. Yeah.
I don't blame her. No, but that scene was really heartbreaking because Joan's coming to confront Betty, but they're telling each other the truth. And she's like, "How does it feel to be the most beautiful girl in the world?" Like that was just heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Great, but it's not enough. How does it feel to be the most talented girl in the world?" I'm like, "Can you guys just hug already?"
Yeah.
You
It's like
know?
they're
Never enough.
they're just frenemies. That's
They're
really
yeah.
But what I love is because they didn't know each other's, like, I guess, pain. Like, Betty wanted to be, she's like, I was always compared to Joan because she's beautiful. You know what I'm saying? I don't think they knew each other were really hurting because they wanted something else the other person had. So it was really sad to see them come blow to blow just with words, really. I'm like, damn, this is sad, ladies.
It is sad. It's
It
unfortunate
is.
because, like
Too
I
damn
said,
old.
yeah,
No.
to be out here putting Pepsi and cola and different
That was awesome.
sets. I'm like, come on now. Like, so you literally called.
I mean,
Hey.
You called Pepsi and said, "Hey, I need you to drop off."
well,
Coca-Cola.
that actually in real life, that was Bob. That really did happen. Bob was the one who made that call.
Oh, Bob did
Bob
that.
switched out the fridge, and that really was in real life. He switched out
He's
the
probably
Pepsi
tired
Cola
of
fridge.
Pepsi.
And
No
got
shade to
Coca-Cola. I mean, that was just an obvious dig.
Yeah.
But it's because at this point, Joan has faked sick over and over, and they made it a lot quicker. She was in and out of the hospital for a very long time.
Oh, no, she would have got fired.
Yeah, and she even is saying, if I get sued, that's fine with me. If I'm out hundreds of thousands of dollars,
But I'll
as
be
long as
happy.
I get this production shut down, if Betty is also out hundreds of thousands of dollars, I'll live frugally but happy.
I was
And
like,
you're like, you
Ma'am.
you have
Dumb.
lost sight of the forest for the trees.
Lost
it's,
her mind.
It really, I think old age has made her just say, F it. I don't even care anymore. Like, she's done her career. I mean, in reality, she's done her career is kind of at its end point. She's done a lot already. So she's like, you know what? Let me just, I guess, mess around. Because, why would you do that? Why would you think it's a
Really? You don't
joke?
think
to get-
daily salt scrubs and drinking nothing but Pepsi Cola is not great for your mental health?
No, I'm saying, like, why would you, did you think that them telling you that I'm going to sue you was a joke?
I think
I
so.
feel like her
I think
ego
she's
was that
big.
All she had to do is throw around her vagina. Excuse me. Throw her vagina around 20 years ago, and stuff like that would work. And I think for Joan, she was like, "Oh, they're gonna give me what I want."
Well, she tried to seduce the doctor.
That was amazing.
And then she got called out for trying to seduce the doctor.
Right.
Like,
And
that's
so
me in
not
40
only did
years.
it not work,
She was like, it's the studio's doctor. What did you think? Like, girl, no.
So embarrassing. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's me in 40 years. She's talking to the doctor like, "Oh, hey,
Grabbing his hand, he's probably like,
ma'am, if you don't get the help." But I love that Bob marches to that hospital and tells her to get the fuck out of that bed.
Yeah.
Curses her out.
Goes to work.
And he's like, "Look, you're gonna get up out this bed and go to work.
Yeah,
Tomorrow,
yeah.
don't be late."
and
I
don't
love that.
and stop with these stupid suggestions. Joan really did suggest those in real life.
She's
What?
nuts.
Which ones?
All of it.
Oh, the new demands.
all of her weird demands. She wanted a party for the character when, like, she really did want like a party. She wanted different boyfriends.
Of course she
And
did.
make her like more like appealing.
Yeah.
It's like, woman.
girl.
He's like, "How many more bows do you want?"
I like that when the guy that came to serve her, and she pulled, because Mamacita wasn't answering the door, and she got her wheelchair and answered the door.
Oh
her
my God!
wheelchair.
Pulled
I
her
was
wheelchair up and sat in it.
That was amazing.
Like, girl, but she never skips a beat. Like, it's like, wow, I need you on my team if I'm ever trying to get back at somebody.
yeah.
Because good
I
lord,
don't, because
was in
then the
character.
second that she's like,
You let
never
up.
mind. Yeah, I'm like,
yeah. Well, I'm
I'm
like,
that
girl,
crazy.
Joan is so dramatic. My favorite part is her in the bed and they putting the plastic.
I wouldn't be able to breathe either because I know I probably would have went insane too. You did all that
To
and
see
it
you had
backfired on
pneumonia.
you.
Oh,
Yeah.
Joan.
She's stupid.
Just her alone, like Bubble Boy style in this
Like-
bed, and then
Yeah.
everybody posing, smiling, happy on their
love it.
Coca-Cola.
I know that
Wearing
was the
her
perfect
Dior.
end scene. It was.
That
with
was so-
Olivia.
It's a little heartbreaking.
And apparently really did ask Vivian Lee. They asked Katharine Hepburn. Katharine Hepburn turned it down. They asked tons and tons of people, and everybody really did say no because of Joan. And so it was just because Olivia and Betty were so
friends.
close, and
she was
Bob
at the Oscars.
and Bob went to all the effort to actually go find her in some remote place in Switzerland.
3
She was
planes.
like, okay,
and-
fine.
She was like, I don't like to be a bitch. I don't want to be a bitch in a movie. She's like, I'm
Call
not
my
a happy.
sister. I was like, oh, can we have that
All
feud?
the digs. That
Can
needs
we
to be
have
a-
that one?
That needs to be a great episode.
I would love to see the sister feud.
I can't.
The claws are coming out now. This whole time you thought Olivia was so sweet and innocent.
I like that background of where she was, the mountains
Oh,
in
yeah.
it. I was like, oh my gosh.
Was it Switzerland or
Yeah, in
something?
Switzerland.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like, this is goals.
She's like, I just got here.
Yeah, just on
Must
the
be
phone.
nice.
I don't like to be a
That
bitch.
would be cool if they did a season though of like her feud with her sister, and then we got to have Susan Sarandon and Jessica Lange
Oh, that'd be
reprise
awesome.
their characters and have them just kind of pop in.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I can't believe it's almost the end.
I know. I'm
That's
just
so
trying to
sad.
think of any way that they can keep it going,
Right,
so we don't
keep
have to
it
say. I'm like, they're so good at this.
Yeah.
Even though we know it really happens, but it's
I know.
I'm
It's so nuts
invested.
to me too that even in this episode, based on real things, are talking about how phenomenal this performance is that Joan gives, and Jessica Lange is able to recreate it perfectly to a T.
Jessica Lange is an amazing actress, man.
Yeah.
Like, the acting that they're doing. The acting that they're doing on set inside of the show, I don't know if that makes any
Yes.
sense. It's even amazing when they're acting as their characters, if that makes any sense. To
Them
see
acting as the actresses,
Yeah.
acting as the characters, not
Right.
the
Yeah,
actresses
yeah.
There
originally
you go.
played.
Yeah.
There you go. That's amazing. I'm like, am I watching Jessica or Joan? Like,
Yeah.
she's such an amazing actress. So I feel like the Emmys
Or
might be
Jessica
coming.
Jones. Oh no, different show.
It has to be an honor to be asked to play that role. Like if a director comes to you and says, "I need you to play Joan. I need you to
Right.
play Betty." That's like that has
Yeah,
to
but
be.
Ryan Murphy, you know, he goes for like the most amazing talent, and he'd worked with Jessica
Yeah.
Lange with
Right.
American Horror Story and knew how amazing she is, and Susan Sarandon is just.
And for Susan to say that Betty asked her when she was younger.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I think the reason, she was saying the reason she couldn't do it was something to do with Hollywood. So she's like, Betty kept coming to her a few times. And then she's like, she kept seeing a Betty Davis role. And then she said this came to her as a film at first. And then it came to her as the show. So she's like, I got to play Betty Davis. I'm like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
No,
Like,
do you feel like Jessica Lange or Susan Sarandon were known as like sex symbols at all back when they were younger? I mean, Jessica Lange, I mean, she's beautiful now, but she was like really beautiful
Right.
younger in Cape Fear, and that's when I first latched onto her. I'm like, oh my gosh, she was so good.
When I seen Jessica Lange, I seen her older when I first seen her in the movie Losing Isaiah, and that's when she played with Holly Berry. She played the adopted mom, and she was a little bit older, but not as old as she is now. So I'm like, damn, this lady's an amazing actress.
I don't know about sex. About sex symbol. Because who can you label
I
as
mean,
a sex
I don't know. I
symbol
feel
now?
like that's
Carrie-
90% of the actresses in Hollywood are
Right.
labeled as
Did-
sex symbols.
You think so?
Did
But
they
who's like-
carry their intelligence or their
Right.
beauty is what I'm saying. You know,
Oh.
like Susan Sarandon, she was in Thelma and Louise,
Yes.
which was
But I feel like
Yeah.
that's kind of, you know, the whole point of the episode is that you don't want to have to try to pigeonhole somebody as being one or the other. And that the whole point is that these actresses are well-rounded. They're people. They're multifaceted. So I think now it's kind of, you know, the push is less one descriptor labels.
Yeah.
Or trying to get away from that more and kind of see people as more a whole
Yeah.
person.
Who would you say is the modern day sex symbol though of the actresses now?
You mean of Jessica and Susan?
No, like just in Hollywood now, like
Megan Fox is big time.
Oh, yeah,
but
she's
I
definitely
feel like she's had to prove herself.
Yes.
Just being like from Transformers, now she does New Girl, and she
Well,
tries to take more serious roles. But
True.
still, she's just beautiful. I
she
mean, in
is
my
beautiful.
opinion.
She's also had work
Jeez.
done though.
Yeah.
However,
but
not
yeah.
like everybody
Hollywood.
has, right?
There's little things, pushes
Yeah.
and pulls, and
I'm trying to think of who was like, because you know you had Raquel Welch, who
Sofia Vergara would be like a
Oh,
modern
Sophia.
Raquel Welch.
Yeah,
in
she
my
would.
opinion.
yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Very
swinging
spicy.
curves and
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I will say one of my favorite quotes from this episode is when Joan's friend George is trying to tell her about herself. And he's like, you know, when did you become so like vindictive and so mean? And she's like, the only bed that I can find power in is this hospital bed. Like back in the day, I was able to sleep my way around. and now I have to get them to pay attention to me. So I'm gonna pretend to have pneumonia. That's pretty much what she was saying.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Like, who has all the time? Well, I guess when you are Joan Crawford, you do have all the time. Because I'm like, who does that?
She needed the poor me. She needed
Yeah.
to feel the sympathy,
Yeah.
which is in comparison to maybe the attention she used to feel when she was younger. I don't know how those compare, but she
Yeah.
felt it.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
Joan.
unfortunate. Like, again, we wish that women didn't have to do that. But I
Right.
wonder too, you know, if Susan and Jessica, like when they're portraying these characters, did they ever have to do that themselves?
That's what I was
Right.
kind of getting at.
Yeah,
Did
like
they ever feel that way or
fake
go
six
through
string.
Oh
that?
yes.
Yeah.
I feel like they probably. I mean, I guess so.
I feel like it's different now though because that was the contract player days where like you were
Right.
under contract with a movie studio, so it was kind of like a salary position. So you could kind of fake sick. Whereas now you would just immediately be recast because it's
Yeah.
there are so
Yeah.
many. Everybody's a free agent.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's like you can't really pull that move as much.
As you
You
would
know,
have,
unless it's maybe with TV shows, but even then they typically rewrite. Like they either recast
so many
or
different
write somebody
ways.
out.
I mean, look at Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. So.
I mean, even Desperate
What
Housewives.
happened?
And that was a
What
heartbreak.
happened? What happened?
Oh, Fresh
With
Prince of Bel-Air,
Vivian.
the mom was
Oh,
switched,
yeah.
but the moms
Oh.
were completely
different.
different. Like the
Yeah.
first mom who played Aunt Viv was dark skinned, skinny, tall.
It was a
slim,
totally different actress.
Totally different actress, totally different look. It's like they were purposely
And they didn't even
doing it
they
because-
just were
Well,
like,
they had
just kept-
complications on set because
Yeah.
Will and the for
Janet.
first Vivian. Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't remember.
Janet
her.
Herbert.
They beefed pretty much. They had
Yeah.
on-set problems, but everyone was in love with that first Aunt Vivian, and even for me till this day, I'm like, why?
But they just got rid of her, so that's like
Yeah.
that's like the thing now. Now they just get rid of
But
you.
that's the thing is you don't fight with the more powerful person. That's
Yeah.
the same thing. That's what happened
That's
on
what
Desperate
happens.
Housewives when Edie Britt got electrocuted to death.
Yes.
I didn't watch it.
Ooh,
I
I
had never watched
love
Desperate
that
Housewives.
show.
Well, they
In real
basically the reason they brought in Renee to take over Edie Britt's whatever
Character?
because Nicolette Sheridan slapped Ryan Murphy in the face.
Oh,
Or not Ryan Murphy, Mark Cherry,
Cherry.
her producer,
yeah.
slapped Mark
Oh,
Cherry
wow.
in the face.
Yes.
About that.
And so
But
they
why?
wrote her character off. They just beefed a lot. And so then they were like, all right, well,
Time to go.
now you are
Bye bye.
replaced.
Damn.
You couldn't play those games like Joan played. Huh?
Right.
But a slap, I would have replaced you too. That's crazy. You slapped me. Like, it's
Yeah.
one thing to verbally argue, but you hit me?
Yeah.
It's just like you see these people in Hollywood, and it's just this so childish, manipulating,
It's sensitive.
ridiculous. It is.
It's very
just
sensitive.
a lot of very hurt people.
Yes.
It
You mean
is.
with
And it's a lot
actors,
of
or-
Egotistical.
just everybody, and it's. I mean, we even see in this scene too when she's kind of manipulating Hedda when she's on the phone with
Oh,
Hedda,
gosh.
telling Hedda exactly what she wants. And as Betty's reading in the column, the one person who would benefit the most for Joan's recovery is Betty Davis. And then Bob walks in as the song "You Don't Own Me" is
love
playing.
it.
This was just so perfectly cut together, and having that line, "I don't tell you what to say," right after she tells Hedda word for word what to say.
I love it.
Yeah, and the rose too was very symbolic too. And she's like, I took all the thorns off, and I was like,
And in real life, apparently that did happen too. Was she gave her a single red rose, and the entire crew applauded. And it's like at that point, be like, okay, let's bury the hatchet, and let's bury
Right.
the prop hatchet in the back of whatever horror film thing they want us to do.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, because otherwise you're gonna be burying little tiny hatchets at the next premiere
You would-
of the worst
You
movies.
thought they would have learned from the
Right.
first movie, but it's that ego and that pride, and someone has to be queen being number one. So these two ladies, to me, they did not get the picture. They didn't. They didn't get it the first time.
ha,
Well,
ha, ha,
technically,
get the
Joan
picture.
didn't get the picture. Yeah.
Poor Joan. You say poor Joan, but then it's like,
No.
No, because Mamacita said it best, and even though
Yes, she did.
this was, fabricated for the show, I love that they had Mamacita
I love
walk
it.
out.
Yeah.
And they're saying, "You can't leave me now. You can't leave me not when they've done this to me."
You did it to yourself.
Yep.
did it to yourself.
You did this to yourself.
Yeah.
It's the
Goodbye.
damn truth.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
See you.
It's a trip.
Had
And then
good
you've been
time.
warned
Avita
so many times. Like, Mamacita has warned you. The production people have warned you. For both women. And people are letting you guys know, like, you guys are acting out of character, doing way too much. But it's like someone has to be number one.
Yeah.
And it's like when someone pulls back and they try to be nice, the other person's a little bit meaner. So now they feel like they have to come back and be just a little bit more mean.
I think that they should have, because there was so much miscommunication.
Yeah.
If they had gone in and Bob had been like, all right, here's the deal. You ladies are going to get along, and this is how you're going to get along, is we're going to have weekly dinners or weekly whatever that you two get together and
Yes.
just either yell at each other, hang out, laugh, do whatever the hell you need to do, get out of your system, then you walk on my set and you act like professionals.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Let's
Just
get it
lock them in
together.
a room, because anytime they get together, then they start
insane.
communicating, and then they kind of chill out for a little bit.
Yeah.
It's when other people start dicking around with things,
Yeah.
and then they start losing their mind.
Because when you think
That's
it's
a good
going
idea.
good with them and they're having communication, you're like, okay, finally. And then they're not friends for like that 1 second. And it's a little heartbreaking. You're like, damn, I kind of seen a friendship. No.
You were this close.
Every
You were this close.
You were. You got to be quicker than that.
Oh.
Gotta be quicker than that.
But, oh,
Little Brett Michaels there.
Yeah.
yeah. Oh.
You lady sad?
Feels like summer school, or not summer school, but summertime's about to happen.
Feel like I'm losing two really
Last
good
day of
friends.
school. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Losing two of my girlfriends, Joan and Betty.
Oh. Hey, we could always rewatch.
This is very true.
That's true.
very
Yeah.
true. I will say, this was a very great episode.
It was.
This was an amazing episode.
This was. This is probably my second favorite. Probably my second.
Everything, like
favorite.
we've always been saying, everything's been going so good. So I'm just excited to.
I cannot wait
excited
for
to see
this
the
finale. It's such a bittersweet thing that
Yeah.
I'm like, so it's gonna be over, and then I'm gonna be incredibly sad,
Yeah. And then you're gonna
but-
rewatch them.
and then I'm gonna rewatch it,
and then you'll get sad again.
But guess what I
and
watched?
then I'm just gonna group text you guys,
Guess
and
what
I'll
I
be
watched
like,
this
I'm watching this
weekend?
again, and here are my
Right, right.
thoughts, and you're like,
Right.
please
And
stop messaging me. It's 3 in the morning.
Right. And then make a new after show. Right.
So I go to Coachella this weekend, right? In the house, watching TV, and nothing's on TV. And what's on TV? Mildred Pierce, my girl, Joan Crawford.
that's perfect.
And then I watched
Yes.
that, and then I went out to get some Coachella vibes in. But I was excited
I
that
feel like
Mildred Pierce was on TV, which I really don't see that a
cool.
lot.
Yeah.
So I think now with a show like this, it's gonna bring new fans.
Oh,
and
yeah.
people.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think
Yeah.
that
They're-
maybe they're gonna have like Netflix is gonna start bringing in
Yes.
some
Oh,
more
yeah.
like old. They really
Well,
should.
I mean, their
should.
movie,
It's smart of them.
their numbers, like even like Mommy Dearest, all Mildred Pierce,
Yeah.
whatever happened to Baby Jane, that's all gonna go up in sales. It always
yeah.
happens whenever
Yeah.
they do like a biopic or anything like that. Whatever, like whoever is performing in that show is gonna the ratings are gonna go back up, or they're gonna get
Yeah.
more sales. It always happens. So, but I mean, hey, and I mean also too, they'll probably have them on the shelves too, because I don't really see Mommy Dearest or any of those movies on shelves anymore, unless you go to like Best Buy.
Or Amazon.
Yeah, I was like, I don't see the shelves.
I was
My
saying, I
problem
don't
is
see
I
the
was like,
shelves.
I
Oh, you
see
don't
the
like-
digital shelf where I'm like,
I'm still that person
order
that loves to buy
online.
movies. Like I'll go to Target. Like if it's like my favorite
Right.
movie, I have to get it. on
Target
DVD.
does. Target has like this amazing
Yes,
thing
they
where they have like 3
do.
movies in a package, and they'll have like the old
Yeah,
school movies.
the sets.
But I love that
but
they're
those
now
are the
showing it
ones
on
I don't
TV.
go in. I'm not like, oh, time to do my movie shopping at Target. I'm like, I'm gonna just get toilet paper.
Oh, that's
and then I
everyone.
come back with,
That's
like,
everyone in the
a whole-
United States.
like,
I'm
okay,
just
great.
getting toothpaste, and you walk out with 20 more
Especially with
things.
Target. Target
Target
has
has
those, yeah.
So I
Target,
I got
Target.
Mildred Pierce and all these little flowers
Exactly.
for some reason.
Yeah.
Why do I have all these
So
plastic
everyone
flowers?
check Target in a few weeks because you're probably gonna see whatever happened to
Yeah.
Baby Jane and Mildred Pierce.
You guys
on
don't
your
go in the
shelves.
little dollar DVD,
Oh,
those little
definitely,
bins.
100%.
I always go in those little
I check
bins
all
and
those.
see what they have. I'm like, hey.
They
I'm
will be-
hoping that there's gonna be a huge influx.
I hope
in
so,
these
Oh
too.
yeah,
movies
there will
now.
be absolutely,
hope
there. And
so.
then that'll teach the next generations too about who these women
Yes.
are too. 'Cause
I hope they bring them back on Netflix because they are not on Netflix right now. I'm just saying.
I know, that's what I want.
I went looking for it when the show first started. I was like, oh, I want to rewatch these movies, and I've been checking, and they're not on Netflix. So
I love how we're all
hoping-
team Netflix.
I know.
Netflix,
or
Netflix,
Amazon, or
Netflix.
whoever. I'm just hoping that someone's
Netflix and
like,
Feud is the new Netflix and chill.
No, TV is
For
Netflix. Do you see it on Netflix? Netflix? It's like
Netflix.
Uber now. It's kind of like that. Like you have to say, you don't even, well, I love Lyft, but you know when you say like, oh, I'm about to catch an Uber,
about
even though if
Lyft
you're about to
now.
catch a Lyft,
Yeah.
you just say Uber.
Netflix
Xerox.
and chill.
Coke,
Kleenex.
Pepsi,
Yeah, it's
soda.
Kleenex, Kleenex.
Unless it's Coke versus Pepsi and you're
Dun,
taking
dun, dun.
pictures on a Coke
Well,
There
machine.
should be a Feud show
as
about
a-
Coke and
Ha-ha.
Pepsi.
Ooh, Oh, that would be a good one.
Oh, yes.
But then what is it? It's just
Yes.
people like drinking it, being like, I like this one better.
No,
Yeah.
the corporation.
The corporations to see
marketing.
if they sabotage each other's like promos or anything like that.
Oh, yeah,
Well, right
of
now
course.
Pepsi is under a lot of heat, so I mean,
Yeah.
right.
But we're talking about it, so.
Hey, that is
Hey.
very true. People still drink Pepsi. Still number one.
But because all you need is a
No.
Pepsi to fix anything in life.
Yeah,
Oh, no, I
that's
like
all
it.
you
I like
need.
Coca-Cola.
Social injustice sure does make me thirsty for a Pepsi.
I love
Right.
a Coca-Cola
Doesn't
about
make
now.
me want to drink. I'm like,
You got Betty and Joan
Right,
over here.
right. Why didn't Pepsi fix this feud? That's all we needed.
That's all they need. All they need.
They're getting a lot of press too, obviously.
Yeah.
In real life, Pepsi and Coke.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
why?
on the
I'm
show.
surprised they didn't capitalize on.
That's
that
what
more,
I'm
but-
saying. That would have been very smarter than Pepsi and Coke. Come on.
Do you think that there's a little back end deal with that?
I wonder.
A little sponsorship or something?
It's interesting. Pepsi and Coke, if you're watching, I would have taken full advantage of it's on Feud. What? Let me take full advantage of this. But I guess they had a lot of other things to worry about.
Okay,
Yeah.
The
right.
news.
Okay,
Yeah.
right.
But yeah, I just wanted to tell you guys I was watching Mildred Pierce, and it made me
I
really
love
happy
it.
and thought of you ladies. over the weekend.
Oh.
As I always do, duh.
While she was at Coachella, y'all, she was like,
But
I'm
thinking
turn
about
up.
Joan, I was like, wow, I just watched this amazing movie and no one cared what I was talking about. I'm like, you millennials.
Well, you're back here and we care.
But she's we're all millennials.
That's
Everybody
true.
does not know. Millennials is not just those 18-year-olds.
This is true.
Apparently not.
No, they're not. But older millennials, which I love, we'll see younger millennials and be like, those damn millennials. And someone else will be like, but you are a millennial. True story.
Yeah.
Because I'd be like,
Quite the
no.
range.
It is the range. It is. Like, I don't, I mean.
15 years,
It's,
right?
it's 15 years.
There's a lot
Is
of
it 15?
differences.
It starts from like 1982.
I feel like it
So-
should be
Yeah.
like 6 or 7 years, and then
It's a
change
new
it up.
group.
Yeah.
Because, like, I don't feel like I missed. I mean, I didn't watch like Ninja Turtles. Well, no, I did watch Ninja Turtles.
The
or,
cartoon,
like,
the
I'm trying to think
cartoon.
of like something that I didn't like. I
Power
missed out on.
Rangers.
I love Power Rangers. Power Rangers.
Did you watch the old ones?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, I'm a millennial and I
okay.
watched nothing but Betty Davis and Joan Crawford things.
Yeah,
See,
I'm all about that now.
exactly. So
Did
it's
you guys
like
have a favorite moment of this episode?
her end, the end because
Plastic.
Yeah, I would say like the end because that was probably the most emotional that I got with the episode where it was like, Joan, really? Like you thought that wasn't gonna happen, and it was like, aha, got him. Like you messed yourself up by doing that. Why would you not like? Lawsuits are not a joke.
Yeah.
like
But when you can get away with murder, Joan
but
Crawford's
come on, I wouldn't even risk it though. Like and then like you said, she's already struggling to keep the lights on. So it's like, why would you even? It's just not that deep, and just be a little bit more about your money and about your business. It's never like, and on top of that, Bette Davis is gonna get work regardless because you know that you're in direct competition with her. So why even? I mean, I get it. She's up in her head, so she feels like no matter what, it's always gonna go my way. But no, baby, it's
Baby
not.
Jane?
No, yeah, it's just I was very pissed.
20 Cent Fox was like, no, bitch.
No,
You're not
psych,
gonna-
right.
Do you have a favorite?
My favorite moment would be when the ladies talk to each other and she asks us, what does it feel to be the most beautiful woman in the world? What does it feel like to be the most talented? Because that was very sad, and you got to see them both very vulnerable and very raw, and they're both expressing themselves to each other, and I wanted them to hug, but I know that didn't really happen. So that was a favorite for me.
That
Yeah.
was my favorite too.
Yeah.
There was one just quintessential Joan moment was right after she's given her document that she's going to have to pay $100,000. That they then cut to Joan Crawford with $100,000 necklace and a Dior hospital gown. So I was like, that is
love it.
the most Joan. Is like, you think about it, it's like if she actually got to keep, if the things that were show were actual reality. How different it is. Just that is just such a perfect reflection, I think, of what you see in the image of things versus
What it's
in
like in real life.
actuality. Who they are
Yeah,
in real
I just wish
life.
social
Look at
media
her.
was up during that time, like so we could just tweet. That tweet, right? We did say that the Twitter rant or that argument would be hilarious. Someone needs to
Man,
make like fake
Joan
fake
would
Twitter
get
pages.
drunk and just.
I should be drunk and just tweet her life
There would
away.
be
I'd be here
so
for
many
it.
misspelled, like online
Right.
slur. That's what I call it Anytime you get like the letters mixed up and you're like, that's
Yes.
an online slur. Like you're not even
That's
like you're
an
slurring
online
your
slur.
words like
Wow.
online. Like you
That'd be
can't
Joan
talk
Crawford.
Right.
with your hands on the keyboard.
Yeah.
Twitter fingers.
I just think I was better than Betty.
That would be Joan.
And it would be spelled like that.
Oh, Lucille at Lucille
at Lucille on Twitter and Instagram.
Subtweets. Right.
Love it.
Right.
Do you guys
Love
think
it.
the crew really saw them fight in
I think
real
so.
life, or did they go behind closed
Yeah.
doors and have their talks?
I think they probably had heated things in front of the crew.
Yeah.
But I don't think that their actual full-fledged
Yeah.
knockout
Was in
brawl.
front of
Yelling.
everybody.
Yeah. I think that they had a little bit more tact than that. And except for, I don't know, maybe near the end because
Yeah.
because she
Joan
really
was-
did get herself kicked out of Hush Hush Sweet Charlotte.
Dum 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 dum. Just
Just
stupid. Oh, she's so stupid. I was so pissed. You guys don't even understand.
Joan, you love Joan.
I love Joan, and she pissed me off, and I was like, "Girl, you're dumb. I'm done with you now. Like, let's get to the finale
oh,
because
Joan.
I'm over it. You're so like, you had it. You were this close, and you just said, fuck it.
And
So-
I can't believe that the finale is next week.
That's ridiculous.
In
Guys.
the meantime, we want to know all of your favorite moments.
Yeah.
We want to know
Yeah.
whose team, if you're Team Betty, Team Joan, and we want to know if you're Team Pepsi or Team Coke.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Oh,
Let us know in
leave
the
us comments.
Let us know. Hashtag.
And come back to the live chat next week. We're here. We're live. We're looking at your questions and thoughts.
Yeah. And in the meantime, where can we find more from
Sure,
you?
you can
ladies?
find me watching all Betty Davis movies at Kiki Boom Boom on all social media.
and you can find me being a super millennial at Raquel Harris TV. My name is Raquel Harris, by the way.
And you can see me and all of my lovely filters everywhere at Lisa Mason Lee.
And you can find me on Twitter at Elena Jordan and on Instagram at That Elena Jordan Girl. And you can catch us all back here next week for the last time. Oh, see you guys next week. We love you.
Don't abandon us.
Bye-bye.
From executives Kevin Undergaro, Dario Kristen, Tiana Hobson, and the entire BHL staff, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us. info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I am the official voice of Black Hollywood Live, Scipio, Instagram me at KingXOBay. Thanks for tuning in.
Hollywood redefined.
The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.